All right, we ready to go? All right, that's my beautiful entrance gates. The first thing you'll see once you turn off the main road to come to camp. It's a great place to take a picture, either when you first get there or when you're leaving, or both. We'll hit that next screen. So you've got me, Lena, your camp director, and who you're talking to on the phone, along with my assistant, John. He will be in the office making sure all your questions are answered via phone calls or emails. And then my beautiful Cassie, she will be up at Camp A in the office answering all your emails and questions. So hopefully you will always have somebody on the other end answering a question you may have, no matter when you have it. Moving on to today's agenda. Anytime you have a question, hopefully we've answered that by going to our website, the campalexandercolorado.org, going to summer camp up in that header, hover over it, and click on program. That'll bring you to the leader's guide. That'll bring you to the parents guide. Um, and that will also bring you to a quick link to go register for whitewater rafting. It also has the quick links to all the medical forms for adults and youth. Um, and above the leader's guide, I'll always have a quick, the last time it was updated, the date, and what we updated it so that you know, hey, do I need to go look at it again? Nope, still the same thing as last time. Today, we're going to talk about dietary needs with an updated QR code. We're going to talk about your morning coffee delivery. We're going to talk about the more important meetings for you at camp, the who, the what, and the where, and the when. The ins and outs of visitors at camp, what to know about fishing if you want to fish as want to go fishing as an adult. The updated internet usage guide info that was just uploaded, and what to know about campsites and campsite fires and how to go about making sure you can have one. Next slide. So, always, you've got the Camp Alexander website. Um, whether you're high adventure, outback, or summer camp, hover over either one of those. And then you've got to drop down over what you want to go to, which is usually programmed for either one. High adventure, outback, we are finalizing your manual for the year. It will soon be updated, so keep your eye on that. And we update those leaders and parents guides for summer camp as often as we find it necessary. Um, and sometimes it is mass changes just because lots of littles. We try to keep it to maybe all one mass movement. At the same time, if you email us at camp.alexander@scouting.org, that gets to both me and John. So whoever gets to it first will get you an answer. And the 1-6 is me, the 1-7 is John, and either one of us are pretty good at answering most questions or finding somebody who can. Boop, next. The buttons don't work. If you've never been with us before, we outsource our dining meals to a company to make sure you have the best food that we can possibly give you. We outsource to Candle, and they also make sure that your special dietary needs are 100% covered so that so nobody gets sick at camp, because that is the worst. Next. In the past, we've had you fill out either Google or Microsoft form. They have now gone to the QR code. So if you scan that QR code, it is also in the back of the leaders and parents guide, a minimum of 3 weeks before camp, but you can go ahead and do it now, whether you be lactose free, gluten free, vegetarian, anything like that. If you let us know in your registration, that's great. But that does not go to our Candle dining services. This goes to them. They prepare, they make sure they have a menu specific for your needs. They make sure that we can order that food and have it ready to go. The big thing is 3 weeks ahead of time, unless there's an emergency, and we will always make it work. But if you know about it ahead of time, please make sure that you get these in as soon as possible. If you've never been to Camp A, and if you've never heard about the amazingness of what my commissioner does for you at 5 o'clock every morning, He gets up, he goes to the dining lodge, he brews fresh coffee. We bring you a thermos. It is enough to get you up and going, to get you to the dining hall to get lots of coffee. It's not lots of coffee delivered, but it's enough to get you going. So every morning, Monday through Thursday, between 6 to 6:30, you'll have a delivery. You don't have to be awake for it. He will leave it on your camp picnic table. It'll be labeled with your campsite. If you have more than one unit registered in that campsite, you will have one thermos per unit. If you talk with my commissioner ahead of time, if you are more a hot water and have brought your own tea, more than welcome to drop off hot water for you. The fun part about this is drink your coffee, and as you're walking back to breakfast, please bring that thermos with you. If you do not, we can't refill empty air, so you will not have coffee the next morning. There will be a milk crate up at the dining hall, the beginning of the food line, that you will drop those into. We wash them, we fill them the next morning, we bring you more coffee. The big important thing that we found last year is we are kind and we are courteous and we don't take other people's thermoses. If you have more adult leaders than we maybe know, just let us know you maybe need a slightly larger size. But everybody deserves morning coffee. You don't want to see me without my coffee. So I don't want to see you without your coffee if that's your preferred drink. But I will not be a 5 a.m. up in the morning person. I'm up at 6. I see him when he comes back from dropping all your coffee off. And then I'll see you in the dining hall for your breakfast. So if you've never had that done for you at camp, you've been missing out, and I'm so glad you get to partake of this at Camp A with us in the summer. Camp meetings. This is a wide and bright overview, but be prepared when you get to camp. 7 p.m. on that Sunday at Kiva, 2 adult leaders and at least 1 SPL. That is where we go through our staff, our directors, kind of the ins and outs of camps and what to expect for the week. If you've ordered any of those t-shirts or any care packages, they will be delivered to you at that point in time. If you have questions to ask or certifications for certain areas that you maybe want to go and volunteer at, this is a great time to bring all of that to our adult leaders and to our area directors. Now, every morning, Monday through Thursday, at about 8:15, it's the beginning right after second breakfast. So you may want to grab and go your breakfast that morning. At least the Scoutmaster and SPL for the week need to come to the Kiva. The SPL will meet with our program director, and it'll be a version of camp director, commissioner, or somebody else who will talk to the adult leaders. We'll go over the day schedule, any problems that came up, any questions that were unanswered from the day before. You can eat while we talk. If you have questions for any upcoming days or anything that you don't know how to handle in camp, this is a good time to bring that up. We should be done before first session of Mayor Badge's start. And this is an every morning thing. If you're going whitewater rafting, have at least the person that knows what that process is like and has done the registration. Be prepared to meet with me 6:45 p.m. at the Wootton area. On Monday, we will go over your final rosters, make sure everybody has their waiver signed, make sure everybody's actually in the time slots that they wanted, because Tuesday morning, I have to submit those final rosters to our rafting guides. Now, 10:30 a.m. on Tuesday morning, this is where you get to come and say not nice words to me if there's been any problems or if you've noticed any issues or you're just unhappy with things. I will give you ice cream until you can't eat any more ice cream. And I write down all your issues and we try to make it better because if I don't know about it, I can't fix it. Which is then also very kindly followed by my Scout executive feeding all of you adult leaders an ice steak dinner. We keep your kids occupied, we sugar them up, we play lots of games, we dance to lots of music, we feed them, and my executive kind of staff keeps you well entertained with our Scout executive. We feed you a nice steak dinner, we give you goodies, and then you guys can have the rest of the evening with your Scouts. Our paperwork party, where we go over who's got what completed, or are we worried about any Scouts who may not complete things if they don't go to certain areas. That we don't have a final time for yet. We are still working on it. Once we have that finalized, we'll put it into that leader guide and we'll make sure you're aware of it. So that's kind of the rundown about important places to be, and make sure you have at least one adult and the SPL or ASPL at these meetings so that you can get all of the information for camp that week back to everybody else in camp. Visitors. So this is for everybody to follow. Some of these have gotten kind of a little crazy lately. And so we're just fleshing these out to be finalized rules that you can bring back to your families who are not registered scouters or are not planning to come for the full week of camp. We make Friday a family day for everybody. Anytime after 1 p.m., your families are more than welcome to come join us, see where the scouts have been staying. If they would like to, they can pay to eat dinner with their scouts. The harder part is we have spent a lot of time trying to find the adult leaders to meet us at the office to say these are parents or registered leaders or people we understand we're coming to visit. And that possibly makes these parents mad because they can't see their scout. Talk to your families, see if you know of anybody who is coming to visit, what time, so that somebody that's registered adult leadership in your unit is near the office when they check in. We will send our commissioner out to your campsite. We do radio calls where the area directors stop and ask all the adults, hey, are you from so-and-so unit? Hey, could you go to the office and pick up your visitors? Our trading post will kind of do a walk around yell. And we have spent time driving around. We've had visitors sitting at the office for over 3 hours while we're trying to find and hunt down adult leadership. Just to find out that the adult leadership took off and went to town. So that's not helpful for anybody's happiness. So we've just been starting to ask you guys as unit leaders, please talk to your parents and find out when they're coming so that you know to be in camp. The other big thing, if parents are not registered with your unit or in the BSA overall, they cannot be a daily visitor to camp. Just because they can't overnight doesn't mean they have a free walkthrough of camp. If they're gonna want to and fight for visiting rights, one of your adult leaders is gonna be right next to them all day long. So you're losing one adult leader for any other purpose because an adult is coming to spend time. We've left that Friday family day. They can come hang out. They can spend the whole day with their scouts if they want to. The rest of the week, it becomes, especially if we can't find an adult leader, every time that they come to visit, it holds up, slows down camp operations. If you have questions, comments, and concerns, I am more than happy to talk with you through this. But these are problems we've had the last 2 years that we're trying to solve before camp starts this time. All right. We might be on a stricter campsite fire ban this year. We won't know more until we get up there, but we've been very, very dry. If you're not from around here and haven't kept up with it, our snowpack is pretty much non-existent. But we have a daily check-in with our local fire area and our local national forest, and they let us know every day if we can burn or if we cannot. If your unit is bringing a trailer and already has like a 5-gallon barrel or something that keeps the fire off the ground, if you can fit it and bring it, along with 2 5-gallon buckets. If not, we have those for you to borrow at camp. You must check in with the office every day. Miss Cassie will call the fire protection district. They will let her know, yes, you can burn, or no, you can't. She will hand you the rules to talk about. You will sign a piece of paper saying you have read the rules, you promise to follow all those rules. And then the next day, if you want to have another campfire, you will once again go see Miss Cassie at the front office, and we have to do the whole shebang again. It is not a sign once, burn all week kind of deal. Please do not be upset if they tell us all week long you cannot make s'mores in your campsite. I will not have any control over that ahead of time, but we will do our best. That if we know we're allowed to burn, to possibly make an like, hey, we got through this, today is the day, kind of announcement when we know. But always, 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 you must have a fire watch person on duty. You can't just walk away. 2 full 5-gallon buckets filled with water. And then it must be completely cold out, and you must throw the ashes or debris from there into a trash bag, and it must go into the trash. You cannot throw it out into the woods or leave it in your campsite. Those are the big rules that I know off the top of my head that are stressed. For those adults super interested in fishing on downtime, we have 2 options. We have our lake, and we have the river right outside that is private to us. And we have 2 separate sets of rules for those. The one for the lake is super easy. You come to the office, we go over our 5 rules. The big ones are no barbed hooks, no triple hooks, no power bait, no live bait. So if you want to bring your own gear and you're fishing in the lake, those are the big ones to think about. If you want to go fishing on our river, you do have to have a Colorado fishing license. They are sold in either day or weekend passes. You can do it online before you get to camp, and you can do it at camp. Our game wardens or forest wardens or whatever they're called do patrol the river. And if you don't have one, they will ask. You don't provide it, they will fine you. And that's no fun for anyone. Our river is an amazing to fish in as long as it's running perfectly and it's not too hot from what I hear. But I do not 100% know all the rules for what you're allowed to fish with. I know it's always fly fishers that I see out there, which is, flies, obviously, but I don't know if anybody fishes with anything else. I've been told to head towards, the Colorado National Forest or the Pike National Forest rules and regulations for that. If you're going to the river, we just ask that you sign out at the office and sign back in when you come in, just so that we know who's on camp and who's not here. Leaders, this is new this year, in the way that it's written out more than it's verbal anymore. So we have a written out leaders guide, internet usage guidelines. I just want to say how proud I am of all my unit leaders that crashed the internet every week last year. My internet people were not happy about it. My IT committee wasn't, but I was impressed. And so because of that, and we want you guys to be able to have the ability to send proof of life photos to back home. We are making lots of adjustments. We're making upgrades. We're doing all kinds of fun things that I have no idea about. That's why I delegate that out. But we do leave you access to the internet. The big thing there is, please, please, please do not give the access to your youth. Your youth will take that and sell it for $10 per person. And then next, the entire camp is on the network. And I wish I was joking, but yes, it went for $10 a person, I think in week 3, and that was super fun. We are going to be pushing in program areas that the first time we see a phone held by a camper, we're going to ask nicely for them to put it away. We're in program area time. And the second time, we're going to take it to the front of the classroom, so that it doesn't become a distraction anymore. They'll have it right back after the second time, but none of our classes require the youth to be on the internet that they provide themselves. If so, they are usually in media and they have computers to do all that work on. It has become a distraction and a problem in the class and program areas. The other thing is, if you're planning to bring your own satellite-based internet service, please call me or email me so that I can let my IT committee know. And I can connect the 2 of you guys together so that if you're doing that, the people who know what's going on can tell you what to do. And it's just more of, we don't want your internet interfering with our ability to work with our internet. Once again, please feel free to email me or talk more at the end of this presentation, and we'll go over some more questions. Next. All right, so the fun theme days. Can't ever talk about these enough because kids go wild and some adult leaders do too, which I love. Monday, bring your craziest of crazy hats. Do be aware it can be hot, so maybe the full felt hat might be a little too much for you, but if not, bring it. Your favorite Camp Alexander t-shirt is a Tuesday favorite, including the one that you can pre-order from us. Wednesday is your OA day. Wear your full OA sash with full field uniform. Our aquatics has asked, please don't wear that uniform to aquatics classes though, please. Thursday are one of our new ones. Think Survivor Day, like the popular show that some people may not have heard of, but they are in their 50th season, by the way, guys. Totally blew my mind. And Friday is going to be our Western wear day. Wear your favorite cowboy boots, your hat, your flannel, your jeans, anything to show that spirit. And this is that Camp A t-shirt, which I'm also wearing, and it's super, super soft and comfortable. These will not be sold at Camp Alexander. You can only get them pre-ordered. The t-shirt, you can also on, I do believe it's the left sleeve, add your unit, like Troop 224 on the sleeve. You don't have to. These will be delivered at that Sunday meeting if you pre-order them. If you don't know, we take a troop photo every time you come to camp. You have the option to order that to take home. We only ask that you order one picture and then we'll give it to you digitally for the rest. You can pre-order those along with COTS in our online store. Or if you don't do that and you remember it at camp, you can also order it at the office anytime before Wednesday, the week that you're there. Just to verify your understanding of who is getting information to be here, we pull that information off your registration. So in the screenshot right now, you will see on the right-hand side of the screen, registration information, and right under that, it says contacts. And it has a group leader and a group contact. You can add more than 2 people. Whoever is listed there, that is who I take that information and I put it in our email send out, and that is who's getting emails. The only problem with that is if you've ever come to Camp A before and you've chosen to unsubscribe or refuse MailChimp emails from Camp A, I can't force you to have it this year. You are just a hard bounce or an unsubscribe from us. So please, please, please double check that you guys are all getting emails that need to get these emails and get this information. Think this might be the end. The only thing I had came up after is I just got my rafting waivers for summer camp only. So those will be going out, whether it's in an email or just loaded into the rafting registrations sometime next week. And it is slightly confusing if it's the same as it was last year, which is you have to just pick your week. And then in your week, you have a box at the top that says add new essentially, and you add new over and over and over again until all your people are in. So that is the latest update that I didn't have before, the leader guide update that I did last week, and then this presentation. All right. So co-hosts, how are we doing on questions? Anything we need to pop up and start talking about, or do we just free for all it with the people?
Um, Hey, hi, Dave. This is Swati from Troop 27. I have a question about like the swimming check. So the non-swimmers, can they able to wait in the van if they are in the beginner swimmers?
So non-swimmers can't do anything in our lake or our pool or our whitewater rafting.
So the water rafting.
They cannot do anything at whitewater rafting. You have to be a swimmer to go.
That's what. So if they can wait inside the van, are they allowed to wait inside the van?
Um, do they have adult leaders to
Yes,
wait?
with adult leaders.
They are more than welcome to stay in camp as long as they have two adult leaders.
Okay.
They don't have to go because they're sitting in a hot van for 3+ hours.
Okay. So
Um,
instead you are suggesting to stay in the camp?
as long as there's two deep leadership by registered leaders,
Okay.
they are more than allowed to stay in the camp and there's fun things to do while they're there.
Okay. Um, in by chance, so if the scoutmaster has planned to bring them and not doing any rafting, so do they need to pay the $90 that fee?
If they are not whitewater rafting, no.
No. Okay. Okay. Yeah. And when is the last day for to order the T-shirt? The deadline?
I believe it's on the website as the last day of April for if you're coming in June, and the last day of May if you're coming in July. But once you head to that website, it's right at the top of the page.
Sure. I'll go and check. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Can I piggyback on that? This is Tim Bingham out of Colleyville,
Hey,
Texas.
yeah.
Can I piggyback on that whitewater rafting comment? I learned
Sure.
when signing up to whitewater rafting, it wasn't $90 as was in the leader's guide. It's actually 95 per person. I just wanted to clarify that.
Okay, sir. Yeah.
Question on the while we're on whitewater rafting. If we've
Sure.
already this is Daniel out of Dallas.
Sure.
If we've already registered a group for whitewater rafting and now we've got a new addition, what's the best way to do that so that that new addition can then be included with our group?
You're gonna have to give me or John at the office a call, and we will. We have to add it on our end and then take payment from you over the phone.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Yep, super easy.
I have a question about the weather. You mentioned earlier on one call that there might still be snow if we got there in June, and then you're
Yep.
saying you don't have much snowpack right now. And then you also mentioned with the theme days, the wool hat might not be the best thing for that because it might get kind of hot. So for those of us not real familiar with Colorado, like what's the breadth we're working with here and like at night and day?
My husband will laugh because it blew my mind up too. My husband's a native Coloradoan. But all of that, what I said is true, is the crazy part. So I don't have a snow pack on the top of Pikes Peak like we're used to, but I've had snow at camp. As much snow as we need, no, but yes, snow. And when you first come in, you will see my ice wall. It'll still be almost fully there if you're there the first 2 weeks of camp. Um, June is kind of the craziest month because it could be anything. But typically it's going to be 30-ish, maybe a little under 30 in the mornings. It can get up to 70s, and then it's right down into the 50s and 60s again before bed. It'll snow, it'll rain, it'll hail, it'll fog. It can do all of that in half an hour. I'm not, I kid you not. I love Colorado. July, we get a little more even keel, but we get a little more hot. And that's where the wool hat, I've seen kids just, I need you to take the hat off at the Med Lodge. You have heat, something. Nope, the hat's staying on. It's crazy hat day. I need you to take the hat off. Because when you're standing in line for food or if you're outside in an area that's not tree covered, it could be 80 plus to 90 sometimes degrees. So in July, maybe a felt wool. I mean, I've seen a werewolf face costume thing. I mean, I love the scouts, right? They're having fun and I love it. But just be aware that it can be below freezing at night most of June. By July, you're comfortable, but it is really hot for us Coloradoans. I was just in town down in Texas this weekend and it was 105 and I wanted to like not be there anymore. And it's why I laugh, but we at least don't get 105, but we do get to mid to upper 80s sometimes. We are a four weather state all the time, four season state all the time, I guess. So be prepared with, long underwear, shorts, t-shirts, 3 different jackets, 4 different hats, gloves, mittens, 2 different, and yes, that's how we pack to go anywhere. I am a little sensitive, so in June I'm usually wearing pants and a t-shirt, and in the mornings you'll see me with long sleeves. By July, I'm in shorts and a t-shirt. I've got people who are up from Texas that live in my sweatpants and my hoodie because they were not prepared for the heat or the cold, as they say. I guess the best way to, if you're coming from a warmer zone, 50-degree sleeping bag, remember that means you will not die at 50 degrees. That does not mean you are comfortable.
Yeah.
At 50 degrees.
So we should plan for like sub 30-degree sleeping bags.
Correct.
Okay.
Or double it up. We do have sleeping bags for you to borrow. They are the army green. Yes, we bought them at surplus stores, so they may not be the prettiest. I usually carry some liners in the trading post. We usually have hot hands and beanies and hoodies and joggers just in case you're super cold. But yeah, I mean, we're talking, you're probably going to be super comfortable with a 20-degree bag. You won't die with a 30-degree bag.
Layers are important at this point too. Bring a pair of sweatpants, bring socks to wear, change them out of them so you have dry going into bed, otherwise it's miserable.
Yeah, double the socks because like you said, you want dry socks going in.
And
But you'll be sweating too, so I mean,
yeah,
the socks they wear all day should not be the ones they're sleeping in. They've sweated those through.
that's the challenge.
Yeah.
On the fire restrictions,
Yep.
does that also cover like a propane stove, like if we want to make, hot chocolate or our own coffee or whatever?
Shoot. Jason, are you still on?
Yep, I'm here. So no, typically that doesn't. Usually the restrictions have adjustments for propane, flames, and charcoal. But depending upon what level we're at, it is still entirely possible that we could be restricted
So if we go
for
up to the
open
higher
flame.
levels, yeah, that's what I thought. The lower levels, you're usually okay with propane. It's if we get it to the 3s or higher, I think, where there's like no flame whatsoever, don't spark anything. That's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure he does my fire stuff for me with training other places, so he knows them a little better than I do.
And one final question, is there any electricity available in the campsites?
No.
Okay.
So if you need medical CPAP or anything like that, you can take them in the morning to the Med Lodge. They will charge them for you and then pick them up before you go back to your campsite. The Scoutmaster Lounge will have the ability to have you plug in and charge other devices. But there is
I was trying
no
to tell who did that.
there is no and there's nowhere for you to run a cable from either to get power in your campsite.
Lena, where is this leaders area at now? Is it still the same place in the last few years?
Yeah, it's still at Wooten.
Okay.
All right.
Since you were
Any other
talking
questions?
about the
Yep.
weather
Yeah.
and how cold it can be in the morning, is the pool heated for those that are doing swimming things in the pool?
It is. Now, is it super 100,000 degrees hot? No. I think it's upper 80s. Now, don't come for me if that's a not correct, adequate statement. I should probably totally know that answer, but I believe it's the upper 80s.
So it's a you won't die, but you won't be happy about it. Gotcha.
You won't want to get out of the pool to run to the showers, but yeah, morning mile swim practice is awesome. But I will try to get you guys that answer and get it loaded somewhere, probably an email. I'm just not sure what it is because I don't do that. Trying to write this down.
So my
let me
understanding
double check.
is the cots will be available for the rental. Any other things which are available to rent out, like fishing gears, would they be available, or we should bring our own?
You can always bring your own. You can borrow fishing gear out in the evening program. Other times it's dependent on the class. If there's any extra, because the class doesn't need it, we may be okay to let you borrow. But I believe they are fishing all morning long with it.
And this is
And
a catch release.
I'm sorry, say that one more time.
Is this catch and release, the fishing that we do?
Yes, at
Oh.
least in our lake. It is catch and release in the river too. Yes, so it's catch and release. And then if you want to ride bikes in the evening, you can borrow a bike from our hike and bike shed, but you can't borrow it during the day. And I think that's the big part of borrowing equipment. Not renting it for money, it's just borrowing for the day.
I've got a couple outstanding questions here that I want to make sure that we got asked. So on the whitewater photos, Lana, do you remember if River Runners gives scouts a discount for that?
I don't know.
Because
I've
what I
never
am
been asked that.
showing is that if you do an entire group package, they do their own photos. The question
Okay.
was related to photos and the cost. And they did relay that they do their own packaging because it's done through River Runner still, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. That it's around 85 to get the entire set of pictures, but you can choose onesie twosies if you
Okay.
like. The nice part is you do not have to solve that there. You can do it over their website. They just have to enter in the day that you were there, and you find your group and you pick the group and you pick which pictures, and then you could take as many as you want to buy.
This is because he has gone whitewater rafting with them and I have not. So
Yeah,
I didn't even know
times.
they did photos.
I'm
Now
thinking they had a discount for the scouts, though, if you said it. So that might be the only thing that we might want to sanity check.
On that,
Now-
can we give that to all of our parents that want to pick and choose whatever pictures they want, or do we need to do that as we did registering when one person goes in, orders all the pictures?
So they're not picky about the sharing use of those pictures after you've purchased them. So historically, what I've done, being the adult leader that helped run champion the whitewater, is I went and purchased them all and then I shared them with the unit.
Okay, that makes sense.
Now, for those of you rafting with Outback, you do not purchase rafting with a separate registration. Your rafting is with your cost already. Yes, you do go on Friday. No, you will not be rafting with your unit in summer camp. You are going to 2 different locations and rafting with 2 different companies at different times. The Outback unit, your company is related to what you're doing on Thursday in your Jeep tour. They provide you a hot lunch and they provide you photos. It is all wrapped up in the same price. So you are going to have an amazing Thursday, Friday. They've even given us the option to have you tent overnight with them. So I'm saving you over 3 hours worth of driving. And my staff is going to go down to Canyon City and find some fun evening activities and food places to go to give you a true kind of Canyon City, Royal Gate Bridge, all of that. Your kids, if you are testing them, and your adults, if you're testing them, you are going through class 3 and 4 rapids. You're not going through the usual 2s and 3s. We have given you that true Outback, a little something more. Just keep that in mind when you're testing them. If you're on the fence about letting someone maybe pass or maybe not, those are kinds of the thoughts that we're having there. But do not register for the whitewater rafting through the link. Do not worry about photos when you get there. You will not be picking up food from us because they provide you a hot lunch on the river. Summer camp, you will be getting food from camp before you leave that morning to go whitewater rafting on Friday. We will discuss all of that on Monday when you're at camp. Yes, if you have a special dietary need, they take that into effect and it will be separated out in your troops pickup of food so that everybody's still taken care of when you leave. But we go into deeper details on that on Monday at that evening, at that meeting, so that you know what to be aware of Friday morning.
Quick question about the rafting. I think you already mentioned it. There is a liability form. You said that's coming out soon?
Yep, the waiver form, I just got it, so I'll probably make sure it's out by next week.
Perfect. And then are you going to give us the time frame? Like if we signed up for, I think it was 10 a.m. or 10:30, what time we need to get there and how long it takes from the camp so we can tell our busing?
What time is your busing going to need? Because I usually tell
Like
you all
what
of that
time?
Monday at night.
Okay. I was just giving them ahead of time information, so I wasn't sure. I think it takes about an hour, it seems, to drive there.
We ask you to give yourselves about an hour and a half for any traffic or because you're driving through high tourist stuff to get where you're going. So we always ask that you give yourselves a little bit of time, and it never fails that you get halfway there and half of your scouts need to stop and go to the bathroom. And then you have to find one on the small back roads you're driving to get there. So we ask that you give yourselves about an hour and a half to get there. It takes you about an hour and 9 minutes per Google Maps.
Okay,
So we
perfect.
ask that you give yourselves about an hour and a half. You have to be there half an hour ahead of. If you go in the river at 9, you have to be there between 8:15 and 8:30 to do your safety talk and get dressed. If I remember from last summer, I have to verify all that information is still correct for this summer.
Okay.
Yeah, there are
Perfect.
stretches
Yeah,
on that road that can get backed up pretty badly.
perfect. And yeah, I was just also curious how much earlier we need to be there from that time that we signed up for.
Yep. Like I said, just got that email. I haven't looked through it and compared to last year, but it gives, like, I give you a sheet of paper that says this is the unit you're part of. This is how many I'm expecting, and we're telling people. Here's the address to put in your phone or navigation system. And then here's the breakdown of what they're asking you to do and be here when and blah, blah. And here's your time. So you get a huge sheet of paper to take with you. And then we go through all the waivers so that you don't leave that meeting on Monday with so and so can't go because I don't have anything. Like, we try to fix that before Tuesday morning.
Perfect. Okay, thank you.
Is there a deadline for the whitewater rafting registration other than them filling up?
Probably. Yes is the answer. I'm trying to go find it right now because it just ran away from my head.
Okay. While you're looking at that, there were a couple of questions regarding gear for that. They provide the helmet and water shoes and the PFD. You were responsible for everything else. So recommend that you err on the side of quick drying shirts. You can err on the side of shorts and whatever you're comfortable with based on the weather for the week. But again, recommend quick drying. Secure sandals or tennis shoes, like old tennis shoes. Well, no, sorry, that's correcting. They're giving you the water shoes. Sunglasses and sunscreen, obviously. Something to be able to keep that sunburn from happening. But they provide the helmets and PFDs and water shoes.
Can you say what a PFD is? I don't know what that term is.
Sorry, personal flotation device.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yes.
Makes sense.
We don't say life jacket anymore. Yeah.
Thank you.
And registration ends May 15th for whitewater rafting. Oh, and there's a link in the chat. Thank you, Cassie.
Oh, you wrote where the whitewater sign up. Oh, she got it already.
Saying registration has ended though. That's 2015, 2025. Old dates on there.
Oh, Cassie. Beautiful.
Sorry.
Nope. She's got it. Let me see if I can get it. How about them apples? Where do I go? I go here, and then I go here. Let's see who wins.
I think Mike Jacks won.
Did he?
So there is a question that I didn't have the answer for in here, Elena, that since
Yep.
we're completing details and authorizations in the Camp Doc website, do we still need to complete all 10 pages of the medical forms PDF or just the Part C and the Colorado immunizations form?
Okay, perfect. So we are BSA unit following BSA rules. You must travel with your ABCs in paper form in full. That can stay in your trailer because what Camp Doc has that you fill out is what we will use. And the beautiful part of this is we will print it out if we take you to the hospital. What Camp Doc does is the parts that you fill out, but you don't have to upload, they take your answers and they print it out on an ABC form. And so I know it looks funky in their little screen, but what it prints out for me at camp, it looks like a form we're used to. Now, anything with a doctor's signature has to be uploaded. And that's when you download it, get the doctor's signature, and you upload it into Camp Docs. And those, when we hit print, prints out normally. So if your child takes medication, you have all the medical forms to fill out, get doctor signatures on, and upload. If your child doesn't, then it's a little simpler. But medication forms are one per. One per medication, and your B2 also has to be signed. The C everybody has to do and signed by a doctor. The immunization has to be signed by the doctor for the youths. The contract to carry has to be signed by a doctor, unit leader, parent, and scout. If they have an EpiPen or an inhaler. I think that's all the ones. What we just found out today from my nurse, and I am sorry, and maybe John, if you're still here, can say the name. You called John right at the end of the day, and we're asking about over-the-counter medications. Yes, my nurse is requiring, because of new childcare stuff, that the parent signs the B2 and the doctor signs the B2, even if they don't take a daily medicine, but I was allowing over-the-counters. So I am now talking with Camp Doc again, because now I'm going to have the B2 uploaded. If that's the case. So, and when we talk over the counters, we are talking allergy, Neosporin, tummy issues, Tylenol, ibuprofen, and the whole list in Camp Doc is normally what we carry, apparently. I learned that today too. So if you say yes to any of those, I'm going to need you to say yes on your B2, you sign it, and your doctor signs it as well. And that way, when we give that to you, to your scout at camp, my nurse will be calling you to let you know, hey, we gave your child something. It was okayed by you, but I just wanted you to be aware of that. She said she's very big on that. So be aware we will do that for you. But now I have to change Camp Doc again to be able to upload the B2. I don't need the A, I don't need the B1. I used to say not B2, but now obviously I need the B2 if you're allowing over the counters. So long-winded answer to say yes, maybe, and no.
Did you say the B2 would have to be signed by a doctor as well?
Yes.
Or over the counter?
Yep.
Is there any deadline of the sign up? So the form should be within a 6 month of the campsite or anything, deadlines like that?
So you're talking like the physical?
Anything, yeah, regarding any form, the physical and everything, B1, B2, everything. So the doctor need to be signed up before 3 months or 6 months before the prior date of the camp out. Is there anything like that?
The BSA says 1 year.
1 year. Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
We have a hand raised from Patrick.
Yeah, so back to the whitewater real quick. You didn't mention it in your inclusions, but the leader's guide says that wetsuits are actually provided. So can you clarify that, please?
Are they not providing wetsuits anymore, Jason?
I was not seeing that out of the prior pictures and everything that I had. I do remember them being hung up, but I've never had anybody ask for them. So I am not sure. That's probably worth double checking.
Okay. Because you went last year, right?
Yes, and everybody just wore what they came with.
So
okay.
I mean, it's going to be pretty chilly water, right? So
it can be, yeah.
First week we're coming week 1, so
if you don't fall out, it doesn't make a difference.
Well, there is that.
They do ask you to jump in and get back in, is my understanding, for safety. But
yeah, if it's calm enough, there is a point that they will let people practice the exit and getting back in. That is up to the each boat's guide, though.
So on that note, all of you adult leaders, or one of you who knows you are going to be there, you may want to Google the BSA Whitewater Rafting Award, not the merit badge, but the award, and maybe laminate it or put it in a screen protected copy or something and take it with you. Because on a good day, most of you will do everything needed to complete that award. It is not something I track at camp. It is not something necessary to have a merit badge person to sign off on. I also cannot guarantee that every week they're going to do all the things, because sometimes you don't get asked to get in the water and back out. Sometimes they don't do all the paddling. Sometimes they don't do all the things needed, but some weeks they do. Just an interesting thing we learned last year that we're going to start telling you about. So that's Outback. If you want to potentially earn the award, it's not a merit badge, it's the award. We do the kayaking award, the stand-up paddleboarding award, and the snorkeling award in camp. The whitewater rafting would potentially be something else fun that they can do.
So, Lena, a quick question about the metaphor. Going back to those real quick.
Yeah.
Is there a way to take everything on Camp Doc and have us print copies as well, or is that only for at camp?
So, I am going to say words that I hope I am portraying correctly. Camp Doc is a HIPAA compliant, PII compliant application for each scout, because only the parents and the scout are involved in it. I can give you, as a group leader, access to view and print. It is no longer HIPAA PII compliant because now you can see their personal things. Yes, I know this sounds crazy because you get their paper forms in a binder and it's all the same thing. I just am told to tell you these things, that this application, this website, is only HIPAA compliant by you not having access to everybody's stuff. If you are wanting that, and I can't remember, Christopher, if you're on my list or not. I think you are.
I'm on several of your lists. You're not wrong. It's 4640 or 464. I can't forget the number, right?
I have started adding you, not Outback, but summer camp, because they figured that division out, where I can make you a group leader of your list. I can kind of send you screenshots of what the beginnings looks like. We have started by allowing you access to see who is the email address, who has, who, like, have they been getting emails or not, and that you can change the email address. If I give you that and we start seeing people abuse that, I can take those privileges away, and my office, John and I, will go back to doing all of that for you. But we figured you're big kids and are trustworthy, and we can play and maybe take a little bit off our plate, and let you guys do it. But you cannot change anything for them in their stuff. You can see it, you can print it, and you can get on your own form of communication and go, hey, you're not green yet. I need you to be green. You're making my anxiety go high. But they cannot give you forms to have you upload it. That's what I got so far. So if you want that, please email the office, camp.alexander@scouting.org. Outback, let me know you want that, but just realize that's going to take a little longer because I don't know why. It just is. Mr. Mike Gray, what's up?
Right. So a couple questions. We're planning on doing a swim test here in Frisco, Texas. The BSA aquatic supervision says, here's the standard for the swim test, unless there's any different council or camp requirements. Do you guys have any different requirements than the aquatic supervision guidelines?
To perform the test and how the test is performed? No.
Yes, on top of what they recommend, the 4 laps and the qualified personnel and kind of certifications and everything like that.
Now, who is doing it and what the cert has to say, potentially. Are you a registered leader coming?
Yes.
In your camp docs, if you get to the end of all your normal medical paperwork, there is a question that says, are you the unit leader in charge or something of that effect? And a yes or no. You, Mr. Mike, will click yes. It will then bring up the SYT aging up report. You know it as the YPT. We're trying to change our words. You will upload it there. And the next thing is the swim test. The first section is the actual who did what's it. The second box is the certificates. Above each box, it tells you what our council aquatics committee has given us for what is approved to run the test.
Okay.
And what certificates we will take. So if you are the unit leader going, or if you just want to see what it says, hit yes. It gives you the breakdown right there. If you have questions, reach out.
And then the other question I have, thank you for that. We'll track that down. The Texas, we don't have a Colorado immunization system. What do you need from us on paperwork?
So right now, until childcare tells me otherwise again, but right now, per my nurse and per childcare, have your doctor print out whatever they are going to print out for your immunization records. If there's no address or anything from their doctor's office on there, have them stamp it with their information. That will hopefully say Frisco, Texas, 75 something, something, something. And they need to physically sign it.
So you want a signed immunization record? Okay.
Yep.
Great.
But yes, Texas is being very super fun. But that's what we've come up with so far. If that should change before camp starts, I will let all of you know.
Okay.
Just to clarify, because that.
Oh. Go, Jason.
I was going to say, so just to clarify, that is a change compared to prior years that they required the Colorado immunization form, so they can accept it as long as it's the printout that they have signed and stamped.
Yes, because in the middle of summer camp last year, childcare changed the rules.
So if we have them print out the Colorado certificate of immunization, have our doctor in Texas sign it, that's acceptable?
That is also acceptable, but just be warned, not all doctors are willing to sign an out-of-state form.
Sure. Okay.
Which caused all the problems, and that's why we're where we're at. So either or, whatever they are more than happy to do. I just need the immunization record from your state to either be like ours, which is a generic state immunization form that has our state something on it, or your doctor's office prints it off and their letterhead says what state they're from, or they can stamp it with their state and like their address on it. But it has to be
just
signed.
a generic immunization record with no details. You need to know who's the doctor, where they're at. Okay.
Correct.
Thank you. Those are my two. Thank you.
Perfect.
Are all the medical forms, as they're uploaded and everything, are y'all reviewing them at that time? So if there's to give everybody time to get things changed if they needed to prior to the end of May, or is it?
So the plan this year is my nurse is currently starting to learn and play around with Camp Docs and learn it, and she's starting to look at what's already uploaded. The plan is that before coming to camp, you will know if you're going to be asked to come to the Med Lodge. Our check-in process, if you've been with us before, is going to be different. You will be given either a appointment with the Med Lodge. So we'll do all the check-in things. You'll see all the questions, do all the things, get to your campsite with your troop guide, and your troop guide will go, hey, you still owe money, or we didn't get a form totally, so please go see the office at 3 p.m. And as soon as you're done there at 3:15, please go to the Med Lodge for your appointment. Or you'll get an email or a note or phone call from my nurse, and it'll be a quick question, and they'll go, you know what, that's all we needed. We will see you for your first med dose at blah, blah, blah time. We don't need any other paperwork. Now, week 1, that may go out the window because that is what we are being told should be able to happen with this new system. But that is our hope and time, that none of you will have to be at the Med Lodge for hours on end waiting. We wanted to get rid of that. That was part of our switch to this Camp Doc system. That was part of our switch to having a nurse who knows childcare, that we can hopefully just do all of this before you get to camp. But I can hope and wish and dream, and things happen all the time. So bear with us, keep us up to date. But if you get told by the nurse she doesn't need anything from you, you leave that binder, bag, container of med stuff in your trailer and don't ever bring it out.
Quick question. What is the name of the Colorado form that you were just talking about immunizations or something like that?
Yeah, so it's the Colorado immunization form. Yeah, it's super simple. It is under the youth forms if you look on my website. So you can print it from there.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Just so you are aware, April 22nd is going to be our next leader meeting. It is all about merit badges. That is all we're doing. It's either going to be a video, you're going to watch me push buttons so you know what you're doing. There's going to be a scribe. There is going to be a step-by-step, this is how you do it. Along with, we will have a finalized schedule of what week registers when, whether it's a day, whether it's a time. We will have it all fleshed out by no later than the mid-April is my plan, but we'll definitely have it all ready to go in the email we send out when we get the registration link for April 22nd. I do think we are coming up with we're determining, do 2 weeks at a time get to register on one day and then the next 2 weeks in the next, or does every day get their own week? I am leaning toward, no. Yeah, every week gets their own day. That's what I'm going with. I think that's what we're going with, just with all of us being new on this end. That way, it's only 1 week at a time that we're frantically trying to help if anything should break. And that way it's no system outage, knock on wood, nothing goes down. We're not overloading the system, but we will have all of those finals out April 22nd. That's all we're doing, is we're talking merit badge registration. Currently, we've done a little bit of updating with classes, mainly in the handicraft for the leader's guide that just went up. So do take a look at those. Currently, nobody's quit on me, and I haven't magicked out some magic teachers to do more things. So right now, currently, what you see is what you get in my leader's guide. As always, if you have any certifications for range and target, swimming, climbing, please bring a printed out copy of your certifications. Bring yourself with those certifications to our Sunday meeting in the Kiva. Talk to those area directors and say, hey, I'd love to help out. For all the other areas where you don't need special certifications, you can just show up Monday and go, hey, I'm here to help. Or you can hang out in a hammock and drink coffee. That's cool too. Or go fishing out at the river. It's super awesome. That is kind of the plan. It is going to get crazy sauce. John and I do our best to email, call all of you the same day we hear from you. It is getting harder and harder to accomplish that. So if we've spoiled you by doing so and now it's taking 2 days, we are trying. It's just the two of us. But never, never, never be scared to reach out to make sure you have all the information you need from either of us. We are super excited for camp this year. It's been 80 years of scouting at Camp A. We can't wait to go 81, but we got to get through 80 first. With that, I do have an ask, somewhat of a plea. Although 2, 3, and pretty much 4 are full this summer, and Outback is pretty much full except for week 1, I do have plenty of slots still available. If you have friends that you want to bring with you, if you have linked troops, family troops, troops that have never left the state of wherever you may be and have never experienced the magic of Camp A, we would love to have them come out to us. Give them our numbers, give them our contact info, let them know about our website, tell them it's a great camp to come to. We would like to bust the seams out for 80 years. We're so close to doing that, but we just haven't hit it yet. If you have not followed us on social media, Cassie and John do an amazing job of getting all our information out there, making you see the fun that we do have so that you know what you're heading into. I still have staff openings. If you just have kids that are like, I'd rather staff than play and for a week, I want to be there for 8 weeks. I still have positions open. So if you hover over summer camp, the very bottom one says staff. That tells you all about being a staff member and how to apply. And the fun part about all of this is if any of that was just like, what? Go ahead and email us and we'll go answer more questions for you. So while we finalize all this, any last minute questions?
Yeah, I have a question. Everybody's going at the same time.
I love it.
Let me circle back about 5 minutes ago when you said that the next meeting on the 22nd will know when each week is, what day each week's going to sign up. I think that's a fantastic idea. The sooner you can get that list out, the better, because we have the adult that registers for us.
Okay.
For example, coming week 2, if that's going to be a Tuesday, I want to make sure she knows she needs to be off work and be available that day. Because if we wait till the 22nd, that's only 1 week's notice from kind of when you sign up, right?
So yeah, so week 2 is either going to be the 28th or the 29th. So that's
Okay.
that wiggle room I can give you. It's just, are we doing week 1 and 2 on the 28th? Or are we doing week 1 on the 28th and then week 2 on the 29th and so on and so forth? It
Sounds
really
well enough,
comes
sir.
down to the back end setup because it's always been set up one way. I have to go unset it up and learn how to set it up. I would like to say I will know how it's done by tomorrow, but I would fail that, and I don't like to give myself failing tasks. But I am desperately trying to have that figured out by next week so that when we put an email together for everybody, it's all in there at least for that portion.
So what were those dates one more time, Lena, for the week 2? The 27th, 28th?
So first day of merit badge registration is the 28th. So if we're doing 2 weeks at a time, the 28th is week 1 and 2. If we're doing 1 week at a time, the 28th is week 1, the 29th is week 2, etc.
Thank you.
And that's kind of where we're at right now, just to give you an idea. Nothing set in stone, anybody. Don't write that down and be mad when I change things. But that's the 2 ideas we have going right now. And it's more about the back end tech change that I have no idea what I'm doing.
So is there going to be a separate meeting for this for the Outback group also, or is this just another meeting, or just this all of it for both groups?
So Outback, if you don't want to come on April 22nd, you don't have to because you don't make any of these choices. Outback, I love. I get to go make all your choices for you, and then I just get to put you in a van and you go have fun and do things. Your only choices are kind of your downtime and what you like to do, and possibly what cool restaurants we take you to on your downtime. So Outback, we may do a separate meeting for you guys if I have enough questions coming in that I'm like, you know what, let's do an Outback separate meeting. But for right now, merit badge registration is really only summer camp related.
Okay, so I think the other question we saw in the chat was, for the night we're camping out, do we bring the tents, or are those provided for us though? Sleeping bags, sleeping pads, like what is needed for some of those overnights?
Sure.
Thursday.
So you will be providing your own sleeping bag, which I think you guys bring anyway.
Yes, ma'am.
You will bring your night and day clothes for the next day and your own toiletries. You will have a tent provided for you. And I'm fleshing out the cot ideas. I don't know if ours will fit or not. They're still providing me measurements. And then you may just maybe bring a mat, like a blow up inflatable something mat, which we don't normally tell you to bring. But maybe good to
Goes on
have.
the cot for insulation.
You can, but most people don't. I don't. But yes, so that would be the only thing that I would say I would have to bring to do the overnight is something to lay on instead of the ground.
Okay.
But we're
Sounds
getting all
fantastic.
that into the next email too. So you might just get an email for Outback and be like, I'm done. And then you're good until you see me.
I'm the leader for both groups, so I have to get the other one taken care of. So I'm here for everything so far.
So far. All right. So yeah, we'll take care of you guys. I mean, both sides, no worries, but the Outback side's a little more fun.
I had a question about the Camp Doc. I was looking at their website. So just wanted to clarify things. Parents have to make, everybody has to make an account over there, register, and then upload the documents.
So you have to put your email into the registration account for summer camp. Once that email goes in, it goes over to Camp Docs, and Camp Docs will send you the link to your health profile.
Okay, absolutely. Thank you.
You don't do anything on your own at Camp Docs. It's all a linked system that does its beautiful thing once your email goes into our system.
Thank you. And for the scouts, it has to be a separate email or can be through the parent also?
You can have the same email for the parent and the youth, and preferably the parent email for both of them.
Thank you.
And do we any document for Camp Doc? Do we have any guide or any document?
I don't have not really, because it's kind of all very much led by you click the first box and you just kind of go and it tells you what it needs. So once you get logged in, so once you get the first registration email, it says log in and it's green and you push it on your computer. At least I know we've had some phone issues that we're working, but once you push it on your computer, it takes you to the first page of the health profile. And then you read and do what it tells you all the way down.
Got it. Thank you.
I have a question.
Yep.
If some of our scouts need help getting their information uploaded to Camp Docs, can a leader that's not going upload that information?
So like scouts as in youth or just in general?
Youth.
Like you've, okay.
Yeah, the youth asked, can you help me upload this information to Camp Docs? Because they're not sure about how to do it.
Okay, did we put in a youth email instead of an adult email?
I'm not sure about that, but they asked even before I registered them.
Okay. So hopefully with adults doing it, because that's who should be doing it and not the youth, that might solve the problem. Other than that, I'm going to go back to the line of the more people who they are helping them do things, because the scout would have to log in with the leader there and the leader would then do it under the scout's account.
Okay.
The less HIPAA protected it is. But there's not a way for me to give that leader access to only that scout's account.
Okay. I just wanted to touch base with that. We run into these different things with different scouts. I'm just trying to fill in the dots. I'm trying to get my leaders to show up to these meetings and not having much luck.
Oh,
and I'm not the one going to camp. I'm not the one going to camp. I'm just paying the bills.
But yes, if they brought a computer and sat with you and said, I'm logged in, help, then obviously you can sit through there and go with it. But you can't take the stack of paperwork home with you and do it for everybody.
Well, I noticed one of their emails was not good. So can I go back into the registration and correct that?
If you go into the registration with me at summer camp, it'll be like the first time ever and it'll pull. It may take a couple of days, but send me an email and I'll try to expedite it on the Camp Doc side as well.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Uh-huh.
One more question. So I added 3 more scouts recently at $100 a piece. Do I need to make more of a down payment before the final payment's due?
We always like to get you to halfway. That proves to us that you're serious about those scouts. But you're also turning around and paying us, by the middle to end of April as well. It could go either way. I would prefer you to be halfway paid.
Okay.
That's what my counsel tells me to tell you.
All right. Very good. I'll see about doing
Two
that.
questions about
Yeah.
the Outback.
Yeah.
So we got two boys going with us to the Outback. We're talking about going to restaurants and things that have got diet restrictions.
Okay.
Do we need to? Do we have any idea about food accommodations at some of those restaurants?
We do not yet. If you could email me those restrictions, so when they go play around during Directors Week and Staff Week to try and figure out where everybody's going, we can take those into consideration. Because this is all new this year, and this is all kind of, I don't know what I'm doing either. It's anything that's coming from us will obviously go off what you submit to Candle. But if I know about it ahead of time, I can send them out and find restaurants that accommodate whatever food needs that you already have. And it might be, hey, for week whatever, I need this type of food. The rest of the time, maybe we don't worry about anything. But this week, definitely, we have to make sure we accommodate.
Okay, appreciate that. Thank you very much. The other
No
question
worries.
was about Outback. Most of our boys that are coming to base summer camp doing merit badges are packing in trunks. For Outback, do you recommend packing in trunks with day packs or packing in like a 65-liter hiking backpack? What's your recommendation for the Outback?
So if you've ever seen a disco bed, bunk bed cot, that is what I have in my Outback. So there's not as much space underneath the cots to put a pack. And there could be up to 4 youth sharing a tent. So sometimes the backpacks are easier. At the same time, you're probably not going anywhere with a big backpack. You're taking a day pack because you're leaving camp in the morning and coming back by mid-afternoon to evening. You're taking snacks and water and photography equipment maybe, or, a change of clothes or the ability to put what you're wearing on in there. So, whatever makes it easiest for you guys to travel is always going to be my answer.
Okay. And then Thursday night, will we have the ability to leave our stuff and not carry it with us the whole time? Because we're gone Thursday night from camp, right?
Right.
So do we have the ability to leave stuff like in vehicles or something while we're out running around on Thursday and Friday?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, dear.
And I think we have access to their building after they shut down for the day. So we might even have more room, not just the vehicles we drove in, but we have to wait till they close down.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. So I tried to keep it down to an hour and I'm running a little over. So hopefully I kept and gave you lots of information and made your time worth it. I appreciate you guys so much for bringing me your scouts. I hope you've gotten all the information you could ever want. If not, email us. If I don't have an answer, I hopefully have shown you that I am trying to get it for you. I will work on what level do we lose the use of propane stoves, so you're aware of that. And I will start letting you know what the fire restriction levels are at camp once we get into April and May. I will find out a pool temperature for you guys and if it's constant or fluctuating. And then I will also reach out to my whitewater rafting company for summer camp and find out what our photo options are their discounts and what's going on with that wetsuit. If there's anything else I was missing, please reach out. I am going to shut this down tomorrow or Friday. John and I will make this a little prettier so that there's not a lot of extra fluff that's kind of silly. And then we will post it on the Camp Alexander website. So if you hover over summer camp and you choose registration and scroll all the way to the bottom, there's a bunch of how-to videos. You'll see the January leader meeting, and then we'll post this one as well. Look for a email near the beginning of April. That'll start with the merit badge information and the next leader meeting. Other than that, I hope you have a wonderful evening no matter where you're at, and we'll see you next month.
Thanks so much for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Steve. Bye.
Fun one for you.
Laura, yes.
Howdy. Just so you are aware, we do have a deaf scout who will be coming, but one of our leaders is also a sign language interpreter. So,
okay. Remind me of your troop number, Laura.
Troop 337 from Broomfield.
337. So I can tell you for a fact that we also have some staff members that can sign.
Beautiful. Because I'm the interpreter,
especially
so that sounds fantastic.
tell them to take aquatics and have them hang out with our lake director. It was super fun last year.
Sings like a rock and terrified of water. So
Oh. So our boating lake director has a blast when we have Deaf Scouts come through. So
Yeah.
I'm not sure who else from last year is still here that does sign. I know I fall flat in that area, but as long as you have sign language interpreter covered and I don't need to find you somebody, that's great. Just as we get closer to camp, can you send me an email so that I know who they are?
Yep.
And we can I will forewarn the areas that you put them in. So after merit badges, and then I can kind of forewarn, and it's not like, oh my God, it's more like, hey, you're gonna have the coolest scout ever in your class. But just so you know, mom's gonna be there too.
Yeah, and mom is a certified sign language interpreter.
Are you in my count? No, you're in Denver, aren't you?
Yeah. Why?
I always need them down here. So I'm the council of special
well.
needs, and most of the time for Deaf Scouts, I get I need an interpreter. I'm like, well, I don't got one of those.
I can hook you up with some agencies if you want down there. Because you guys are down south, right?
Yeah. One
Colorado
night, you
School
and
for the
I
Deaf
and
and
my
Blind is
husband
down there.
We've not had any luck with them.
What about Pikes Peak?
You know what? Bring all your goodies together, and maybe one night we will have dinner. My husband will be there as well, and we are the special needs chairs down here, and maybe we can get some information exchange going on.
Absolutely.
Because I think we lose out because that's the first ask they have, and my answer is no, and then I never hear from them again.
Yeah. We have in Denver Area Council, we have me. But our camp master, who is probably the person you email with most often, is also deaf, and she will be at camp as well.
Who is that?
Shameen Stratton.
Oh, yeah. The reason I have stuff on the bottom of my screen that gets distracted.
Yeah, that.
So bad. I'm like, oh, look, who's say?
Yep.
No, I love Shameen. Yes,
Yeah.
I would badge with her. So
when did you wood badge with her?
I think she staffed with me, or she was in between the ones I staffed. But yeah, she's up in my crowd.
Who'd you staff with?
So I was on Burke Benton's course.
Oh, you were on Burke's.
I staffed with Felicia.
When?
I staffed with
And me. You're forgetting
Jason.
me.
Yeah, well, you did that, but I was on course with Felicia and
22.
Patty did my course in 22.
Okay. Because I'm the one who's flapping my arms at Shameen at all of those things.
I never knew.
Yep. Yeah.
But yeah,
so,
let's get together when you're at camp. Shoot me an email before you get there so I can make sure I have an evening free for you guys.
Sure, we're easy.
Both of you.
Because
amazing if I can. But one of you definitely.
You've got both of us all week, and then it's my kiddo who's deaf. So I usually just hang around and see what he needs at merit badges and that kind of stuff. Sometimes he needs me, sometimes he doesn't. I did not go on the wilderness survival overnighter, and he did just fine. Thank you very much.
Okay. And when you shoot me an email with his name, after you've picked merit badges for him, let me know if there's anything I need to throw at my area directors that would help.
Yeah, absolutely.
Last year we just gave them all little tablet-sized whiteboards, just in case.
Yeah.
That's just not something they normally have, but if anything like that, think about it, let me know, and I'll make sure they have it out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Yeah, he's a fun kid. He does marching band with Legacy High School up here.
Sweet.
So he's real good about asking for what he needs and hey, remember to look at me type of stuff. So he's gonna be super easy.
Yeah.
I just wanted you to know that you
No,
will have
I love
a kiddo.
knowing ahead of time. Because I don't want to be scrambling if we do need a board or if we do need A, B, C, D, I don't know.
Yeah.
We have it. I just want to make sure it's there before you guys even get to camp and that I know and everybody's prepped.
Cool.
And
love it.
Email me after merit badge picks for him, okay?
Yep, will do.
Beautiful. All right.
Awesome. Beautiful.
Beautiful. All my bestie friendsies. Okay, I've got to get off of here. Somebody else wants the meeting space.
Ah.
I know. Thanks, guys. Good night.
Bye.